Well, I'm headed to Missouri within a few days. I do not know when I'm leaving or how long I'll be there. I just know I'm going. Glad that wasn't me. I just turned on the camera too, right when those sirens started. Surprised my heart didn't skip a beat there. We are going to get breakfast. It is still dark 30. Woke up pretty early, could not get back to sleep. I have a little bit on my mind. One of those things is a trip coming up. Well, I don't think the food is quite ready yet. So I don't know exactly where I'm staying or when I'm going, but I know in the next few days I'm headed to Missouri. I'm expecting a phone call today from the client to hopefully figure all that out. So yeah, that's one thing that's been on my mind a little bit lately. It's gonna be a pretty big job. It'll take about 2 months to film. What it's basically gonna be is a 15-episode YouTube reality show. So yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know. So really the only plan right now that I know of is to drive down there with all my gear, set up camp. Initially we were gonna just have me stay there. Lamar, Missouri was gonna be home base. That's where the job is. That's where this thing is taking place. I was gonna drive down, leave all my gear there, maybe fly back round trip for a couple of things I gotta do back here in Michigan. And but now it's looking like maybe accommodations are not gonna work out long term there, at least how we were initially thinking. There's no internet, so that would be an issue. There's not really a space for me to set up an office workstation for editing, so I don't know if editing's gonna be able to be done there at all, even with a laptop. Maybe may end up needing a hotel room, and that's kind of like home base. Who knows? Again, the phone call today hopefully will clear things up, because I could be leaving within 2-3 days from now and don't really know how that's all gonna work yet. But it is a big, fun, exciting job to do. A lot of unknowns, obviously. So how this all came about was actually last week's video. You all probably saw Cody's Farrier video. So Cody shared that with the guy who runs Heartland Horseshoeing School, where he went to Farrier School at. He saw it and said, "Hey, is your brother looking for a job?" Once before, they've had this kind of reality series on YouTube called Hammered. So hopefully a little bit of improvement, but basically emulating that, showing what goes on in the life of the Farrier School students and how that all works. Maybe you don't really call it Farrier School. but any farrier would go there to become a farrier because you have to be certified. Well, okay, maybe it is farrier school. Horseshoeing school. I don't know. Same thing? Same thing. But they call it horseshoeing school. I think. Is that the right term? They learn anatomy. I mean, they learn how to be a blacksmith. Basically, how to make shoes from scratch. You know, forging, some welding, blacksmith stuff. Making horseshoes. And if it sounds hard, it's even harder than it sounds. And if you don't believe me, just wait till you see this reality series. I mean, that's half the reason why they want it done. The life of a horseshoeing student is no joke. Very intense. I heard a lot from my brother alone when he was going through it. You're talking about 60-hour work weeks between studying and practicals and just what the workload you have to do. I guess it's pretty overwhelming. Reminds me of my college days. But this, unlike my college experience, will be a lot more physically demanding as well as mentally. So it's kind of like you definitely get the mental strain of it from what I understand, but you definitely also get physical exhaustion out of it. In fact, I should just read you what the website says to all the students. It's nuts. It basically makes you not want to go there unless you are totally committed to being one of the best farriers you can be. I mean, you know straight up front that it's not going to be fun, but yet, if you could pass through the fire, which is very rewarding.
That, like, it's like a Santa Claus hat. I want to butter my toast at breakfast time.
Oh.
So I'm just going to butter all the other toasters. Yeah.
It is on this weird kick. Seeming.
Take a bite of bacon. Can you take a bite? Is it good? Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a bit vlog style today because probably gonna be a vlog style on the channel for a little bit here while we do this whole job to Missouri thing, because it's gonna be quite the ordeal. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to commit to producing something specific for the channel, so at least I can take you along for the ride on this little adventure, see what I can do in between. But next time I see you, I'll probably be on the road, headed to Missouri, hopefully. Best farrier training. If you just Googled best farrier training in the US, Heartland Horseshoeing School comes up. So yeah, here we go. This is not an easy school. Heartland Horseshoeing School attracts some of the finest students in the world, so you'll be one of many among champions. Graduating is not a given, and your dedication and drive will be tested. However, for those who are meant to wield a hammer and forge hot steel and produce results of soundness,
for our friend the horse. There is no better place in the world for you to come if your desire is to be in demand as a farrier and the one that every horseman wishes they could get. Then come out and test yourself at Heartland Horseshoeing School. Don't make this choice lightly. There's bound to be a little bit of drama, blood, sweat, and tears captured in this little reality series that I will be doing. What a thing for the portfolio. I mean, it's not every day you do a reality series. And YouTube is kind of making this more possible and easily accessible for businesses to just say, hey, yeah, let's try doing something and we'll put it on our YouTube page. At the very least, we get some good advertising out of it and maybe some entertainment, but also it should attract people to your brand, your product, your service, whatever you have. I think it's a cool idea for clients to kind of say, hey, what does it cost me to invest a little bit in a videographer to come here and do this for me? So that's where I come in. So Cody's farrier video, that's basically what got me this job opportunity. We had 3 or 4 main shoots for that. We did up in Sheboygan, Michigan in the fall. So that's where we get all the drone shots, the aerials, the nice fall. And we went on this really remote 2-track. Oops. And did the shoot of him in the woods, making a few shoes and getting water from the stream and all that. So that was up in Sheboygan. Then later in the winter, I went down to Lansing where he's at, rode along with him to one of his clients actually shoeing a horse, or I think he was just trimming their feet that time. So that's where I got that footage. And then we did another shoot where we just got the fun shots.
I gotta figure out how to like actually manipulate with my fingers. Ooh, that works.
All right, let's try that.
And then we did the interview scene. That was actually back in the summer, way earlier before we shot all the rest of this stuff. But we waited till sunset or close to sunset to get that nice lighting. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. It was nothing that I could have done in a weekend because just shooting it took a few months. But it kind of shows in the end. The viewer doesn't really know all those things. Like, you're not thinking, wow, he spent months working on this. Oh man, that took a lot of planning. That took a lot of driving. That took a lot of different camera angles and different camera equipment. You don't think all those things, but you just look at it and go, pretty nice. That's pretty, yeah, that's not bad. It's better than I would do with my iPhone, you know. And so that's what someone like Chris Gregory, who runs Heartland Horseshoeing School, saw. Perhaps. Maybe it was just mostly the subject matter, because again, it was farrier. So that's kind of how this whole thing came about for this job in Missouri. We'll see after my phone call today what that's looking like, because you know as much as I know right now, and that's not very much. So that's it for this one. I'll see you on the road to Missouri. Don't you love it when you find bacon laying around? It's the best.